Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In Luke chapter 2 and verse 7, we have an account of the birth of Jesus. And it says there, and she, that is of course Mary, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and she wrapped him in cloths, and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. This is an amazing thing. For thousands of years, mankind had been waiting for the Messiah, going all the way back to Genesis chapter 3, where it was prophesied that the seed of the woman would crush the head of the serpent. And people had been anticipating the Messiah, and this anticipation was building as more and more prophets were prophesying about it and giving testimony about it. And everyone was looking for it, especially the people in Judah and in Israel. The Jews were waiting for the Messiah and waiting with great anticipation. But then he finally comes, and there's no room for him. There's no room for him in the inn. And this is a very tragic story. Jesus should have been received with celebration, with a lot of pomp and a lot of excitement. But he's in this obscure location, and even in the place where he's at, there's no room for him. And we got to be very careful that we don't also have this same experience in our own lives. What a wonderful thing it is that we have found Jesus, the one that our hearts have been searching for all of our lives. We were looking for something to satisfy us. We were looking for something beyond this world. As we look at the world with all of its sickness and its death and all of the disappointments of this world, we're looking for someone who could come and rescue us, especially when we look at our own sins. We were wanting someone to come and help us and to rescue us. And we found that very person in Jesus Christ. He has become the answer to the longings of our hearts. But how often is it the case that there is no room for Jesus in the inn? That is, there's no room for Jesus in the inward parts. Maybe we rejoiced initially when we received the Lord and we felt the forgiveness of our sins, and we had a fresh start. We had this new relationship with him, and we were excited about it. But as time passed by, our hearts became crowded. So crowded that there was no room for Jesus anymore. We have to assess our hearts, and we also have to assess our lives and say, am I really clearing out space for Jesus? He is the most precious thing we have in life. There is nothing that we have in life that's more valuable than Jesus. No relationship that we have is better than the relationship that we have with Jesus. And to allow these other things that are inferior to Christ to crowd out space and take space away from Christ, that's a very tragic thing. We need to open up our hearts to the Lord. He's knocking at the door, saying, if anyone would open to me, I would come into him and dine with him. And the Lord wants to come in and share fellowship and communion with us. But the question is, will we open up space for that? So today, let's open up space for Jesus. Let's not let it be said anymore that there's no room for Jesus in the inn, but that there is plenty of space, ample space for Christ to come in and dine with us and feast with us and enjoy fellowship and communion with us, and to also use us and utilize us for his purposes. And if we can do that, we'll be living a life that is, of course, more filled with more satisfaction for ourselves, but also would bring more pleasure and really fulfill what the Lord wants for our lives ultimately. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.